So in this video, I'm going to talk about how Queen Gambit can help you grow your business and get a lot more exposure. If you've never heard of this show called Queen Gambit, it's actually a show on Netflix, and I want to share with you some of the interesting stats that come from the show. If you look at Queen Gambit, and by the way, the results from this is taken from Income Fact. If you look at on the October the 23rd, 2020, Queen Gambit debuts on Netflix. Today, it's had 62 million households who have watched the show. Right? Inquiries for chess sets, because the show is all about playing chess. Right? So inquiries for chess sets have gone up by 250% on eBay. Google search queries of how to play chess has hit all-time high in 9 years, and the original novel Queen's Gambit is now New York Times bestseller 13 years after its release. And also as well, that the number of new chess players on chess.com has been 5 times. So what can we learn from this? If you look at how social media works, and if you followed any of my work, I'm always talking about how do we grow that business? How do we take that business to the next level? One of the most simplest ways to do that is just to get a lot more exposure. Because if you think about how business works, people come and buy your product or the service, but they will not come to buy your product or service if they're not even shopping. And how will they even shop? They need to know that your shop exists. When I say your shop, I mean you and your service and products. And even myself, I've never played chess before, and after watching the show, I'm like, wow, maybe I should start playing chess. So what happens is, think of the show as content. If you hear me talking about how do we create a lot more awareness, how do we make your shop aware, how do we take you from invisible to visible? Well, there's 3 things that I've learned from Queen Gambit. The first one is that we want to make content that's what we call educational selling. So we want to put our content out there. So I never know how to play chess, and even my wife was saying, wow, maybe we should learn how to play chess. We're actually thinking of buying a chessboard to start playing chess, but it would never cross my mind before. But when I watched the show, I thought, wow, this is a new thing that I was never really aware of. I didn't know how much psychology and how much strategy went into playing chess. So that's the first thing. So when you're putting content out there, make sure you're putting out content to educate people on what your product and service does and what it can do for people. And that's pretty much all you have to do every single day, right? Every single day. You see me posting videos on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. I put this content everywhere, but you got to think about it. When we're putting out content, we need to tell the audience what's in it for them. That's the first thing. The second thing I learned from Queen Gambit is just partnering with a platform. So right now, if you look at in business, there are lots of people that either your competitors or there are people out there who have the audience that you want that could really help you with your business. So let me give an example. Netflix has billions and billions of people who literally use or watch Netflix on a daily basis. Billions of people watch Netflix on a daily basis. So you look at how many eyeballs it's getting. So that means anyone who goes on that show on Netflix and debuts and it gets big, inevitably, just because of the numbers game, you're going to get a lot more inquiries. And this is how it works. Remember, we have the awareness, we get the inquiries, and we convert the inquiries into sales. And how do we do that? The missing part of the jigsaw puzzle from marketing to selling is the conversion sequence. So how do we get people to buy our products and services? You're going to make it easy for them. You're going to have a no-brainer offer. You're going to have something that's exclusive. That's how you actually sell more. So if you're watching this, you have a business right now, you need to think about how this show went really, really big. So, and that was literally by partnering with a platform that has billions of eyeballs. So imagine right now, if you could take your product or service and you can go to somebody else who already has the eyeballs and you get them to actually promote your products for you. So when I first started, I didn't have millions of people following me on social media. So I would talk to people and say, hey, I've got this video. It's really good content. I spent a long time creating it. Would you help me promote this to your audience to add more value to your audience? And that's what people did. And I got millions of people, watching my content because of other people's followers. So it's kind of like the same with Netflix. So that's the second thing I learned. The third thing I learned from Netflix as well is that you look at the book sales from the original novel. Well, that book was released 37 years ago. So what that means is when they marketed it back then, there was a marketing strategy. When they marketed it now, there was another marketing strategy. So that means it doesn't matter if you've got an old product that's 5 or 10 years old, but if you repackage that product into something else, you'll start to earn more income. You'll start to position it differently. And if you look at every film that we watch, it's the same, isn't it? Every film has a hero, has a villain, has a princess. It's exactly the same, but it's how it's packaged. Is it a drama? Is it a horror movie? Is it a superhero movie? Is it a thriller? Is it a romantic comedy? It's basically the same thing, but just with a different wrapper on that. So a lot of people, when they come to earning more income in the business, they're always trying to look for the new silver bullet, but actually it's doing the same thing, but doing the same thing differently. I know it's So mind boggled that. So let me explain to you how this works. So when you're trying to sell something, a lot of people try and create lots of things to sell. You don't want to do that. You want to take one thing and sell it at different times, lots of different times, meaning different angles, different methodologies, different styles. And that's why, if you look at Queen Gambit, that's why it's blown up so much, because if you look at that, it's on a platform. I mean, if that show didn't have the platform that it did, do you think it'd get as big as it would get? Probably not. It's the eyeballs that creates the interest. The interest then turns into sales. That's the formula. If you're in business right now, you're not making money, it's probably because you're not following this formula, right? So make sure you follow that formula, and I promise you, your business will do really, really well. So if you like this, by the way, depending on when you're watching, so on YouTube or on a podcast or on Facebook, do me a favor, make sure you follow this channel and make sure you're always focusing on creating new content every single day. If you've got any questions, leave a question below, or hit the like button if there's an option for you to do that. Other than that, if those of you who would like to learn more, I do run a 3-day bootcamp on this as well. I'll leave some details around this, but yeah, I'd love for you to just create this content and take it to the next level. This is John Lee, the author of Business Hack. Look forward to seeing you next session. Bye for now.